Morning all, me again. This is How to Murder Feet, a hiking video among hiking videos. It is 7:45 on Monday the 29th of April, and I'm still out here. I didn't just go home again in the car at the end of yesterday. Yeah, I totally just stood here staring at the river all night. No, who am I kidding? Nobody. But yes, look, nothing. Can't even tell I was ever there. Just nothing but a flat patch of grass. That's the way to do it. Leave no trace. Leave no trace is the way. I mean, you know, opinions seem to be divided on forums about this kind of thing, about whether to bother bringing camping stoves and fires and things at all. But I'm of a no fires and no stoves persuasion. Does mean no hot meals though. That's okay. I can find food later today. So yes, daylight. So let's go down and have a little look. This is the Tollesbury Wick railway pier. Not only a pier, but a railway at one point. Of course, it's neither now. Looks of things. You can just sort of see shattered bits of concrete and wood and such. Not sure if that pillbox was part of the pier or came afterwards. There's a sign back there, so I'm just going to have to walk you back to the sign in a minute. But yeah, so you can see the sort of wooden pilings in a sort of double parallel line there. Would have gone out because this whole Blackwater estuary is very tidal, low tide at the moment. I think by the looks of it, quite far out anyway. Aggressively tidal, requiring sea defences pretty much around the entire thing, which is pretty much what I'm walking along the entire way. Over there in the distance is the Island of Mersey. We won't hit that today, but we will tomorrow, the day after. Yeah, tomorrow, in theory. And there's Bradwell Power Station. Seen a lot of that. Probably going to be seeing that a lot more as well, but from every possible angle and many distances. So this would have been a railway. I mean, there's a signboard up there. I'll show you in a minute. But yes, this railway would have gone all the way up to that octagonal structure in the distance there, which was part of the World War II coast defences, some sort of local naval command building. To be a radar and things. I know all this because I've read the sign. I'll show you the sign in a minute. The trouble with the sign is it's absolutely covered in very dried bird shit streaks, which makes a surprisingly good white emulsion, meaning that it's quite hard to read the details. I have to rub some of the filth off of the sign just to learn this much guff. Already been spotted by one person while I was packing up this morning, but hey ho, no aggro, so that's all right. I'm usually less worried about the mornings, it's the evenings I worry about. Anyway, yeah, look, this is the Wick Tollesbury Heritage Trail. Yeah, you see the state of the sign. I'll read for you. So the pier opened in May 1907, stretching 600 yards, 550 metres out to the River Blackwater, and was popular with many taking the constitutional walk on Sunday afternoons. First steamer sailings to Clacton from the end began in September of that year. Part of the pier was blown up in 1940 as an anti-invasion precaution in the early part of World War II, and mobile anti-aircraft guns positioned on the sections that remained. So that's that pillbox thing, yeah. I'm trying to get to Clacton this week, that's my big objective. Could have got a steamer from here, never mind. Tollesbury Pier Station. The light railway reached the pier by skirting the north and east of the village. The extension to Tollesbury Pier was completed and the station opened on 15th of January 1907. There was no permanent employee here. Jack Gallant, the station master at Tollesbury, rode down on the train to carry out the necessary duties. Hopes were it would become a continental packet station and a weekend yachting resort, but 14 years later the station and extension had closed. So yeah, and there's lots about local wildlife and things, but I don't really want to scrape all of that bird shit off. I mean, seagulls clearly are part of the local flora and fauna. I thought I heard something chomping away in the grass in the night. Well, I thought it was rabbits. It might have been something like that. Who knows? We're all good though. They didn't bother me and I didn't bother them. So yeah, that's the line the railway would have taken through all those hedges up to the village of Tollesbury, which you can see there. And I basically need to go there next. So, but to get there first, I have to go all the way down there and round. Hang on, let me get the bits of paper out. I've got some bits of paper. I've got the bits of paper out, especially because I haven't really done the map bit yet. Oh, sit in the wet grass. Yeah, why not? So, these are print-offs from the GovUK planning stages. Oh, don't lose them. planning stages of the England Coast Path. I've got the proper Ordnance Survey maps in there, but don't want to debag those just yet. Here's today's plan. So there's Malden at the bottom. And we did all Haybridge Goldhanger and made it to here. Well, I see my little circle question mark there. So basically, yeah, I've written shop on there. I've had to actually mark out where pubs and shops are because there's not a lot around here. So today, quite a light, easy day, 12 miles. And that's, you know, it's 7:45 now and sunsets in about 13 hours. So I'm all right. I think as long as I do at least 1 mile an hour today. So I'm going to go around the end of here, get all that done, then come to the close approach to Tollesbury and that little green link road there. I think there's a toilet somewhere around there as well, public convenience. Might use that. Go in, find some shops, maybe sit and have a proper lunch in a pub or cafe or something, and then proceed on round the rest of Old Hall marshes up to Salcott, where this section 36 brackets open tick ends. I've drawn a sort of circle speculatively in the fields to the north of Salcott, and we'll deal with that when we get there. But yes, let's have a look at the other bits of paper then whilst I've got the opportunity. So, section 38, which is a bit odd. So section 38 is approved question mark. So I start at Salcott, or wherever I end up, circle question mark. I've done extensive Google satellite checking, and that whole proposed section number 1 here is just not there at all. There's a few link roads that lead in, go to a bird hide, then go back out, and there's no sideways access at all. So I shall be trudging along this road here up to here, which is the Connectee Causeway onto Mersey Island. Mersey Island is even more vague, according to, here's the Mersey Island stage. This is section 37 brackets proposed, and it's just this big fuzzy brown line really, starting and ending at the end there. I've written the shops and things. The West Mersey's a fairly large, well, medium-sized seaside resorty type thing, so there's plenty of pubs and shops there. That'll be all right. And I think there's a cafe somewhere around there, but otherwise, and there's a question mark there, so I'm basically going to go around the island and then somewhere along there drop the bag. That'll be the next the day there. Then it's back onto, oh yeah, my own research showed that this part of the path on Mersey has completely collapsed into the sea, so I need to detour around as well. Don't worry about that when I get there. Anyway, once I'm off of there, it's round. Again, this is all MOD according to the Ordnance Survey maps, so I'm just going to have to cut inland, round up. This is up to Colchester. That's quite a long day. It's a 16 miler, and then back down the other side from whichever bridge I cross down to somewhere around here, and then another day around Brightlingsea, another inland estuary on the far side, probably somewhere around here, and then round here, and Clacton is just off the edge of the map there. Did I bring the other page? Oh yeah. So hold on. So this is section 39 brackets approved. This is not for me. I basically stop at Clacton-on-Sea. That's the end of my week. I go home at that point, but afterwards it's onwards and up to the next set of really irritating, with the River Stour, and there's a lot of inland and back and so on, but that's for September to worry about. So that's the overall plan. Anyway, that's my bits of paper. Trying to lose them all. Yeah, a reasonable night's sleep. The alterations that I made to my kit have been good. A new inflatable pillow, which has helped a lot, 'cause normally I use a crinkly shopping bag full of my spare clothes as a pillow, which is quite loud, which is not what you want right next to your ears when you're sleeping. So yeah, that all went well. 3 litres of water, so I've still got lots of water actually. I think one of them is about 3/4 full at least, a few bits in another. So having 3 bottles, I mean heavier obviously, but a lot less stress about, oh god, I've got to ration mouthfuls of water till next morning. You know, I mean, I've had to get some more water in Tollesbury over there somewhere. So yeah, it's all good. Pitch was good, no problems. I thought it was going to be a bit boggy, a bit swampy down there because it is, you know, essentially a fen, but that part of it was dry enough, so that was okay. It's good. Oh, so yeah. My legs are feeling a bit achy, but that's more of a long-term build-up thing, I think. So it's not much I can do about that, really. I just have to press on. There's no sort of sharp pains anywhere, no large blisters developing or anything like that. So I'm feeling in a good shape. I'll have to get these off soon, these gaiters, because they're not very breathable at all. So they just trap my body sweat, and the legs from sort of shin downwards, the trousers are soaking when I take them off. So it's sort of which is worse, the dew in the grass or my own sweat building up. Yeah, I got the hat out. It's going to be about 17 degrees today, and largely whole sun, no cloud, according to the Met Office little symbols. So I'm going to have to put the suntan stuff on, ditch the coat onto the bag at some point as well. But that's good. I'm not complaining about nice weather. I mean, it might cloud over a bit later in the week, but it really doesn't look like there's going to be any heavy clouds or rain. Might be a few splatters on Thursday here and there, but on the whole, we're just all that nonsense yesterday and me pushing it back a day has all really paid off. So I'm feeling quite confident about the whole thing. No problems with my knee specifically, which is what ended my last long week camp trip. It seems okay. So yeah, good to go. Get some food. I've been sort of snacking on nuts. It's those little snack packs. They're sort of about yay big. They're kind of like big multi-packs. I prefer those. Obviously more packaging, more plastic, bad, but it means I don't have to eat 800 grams of cashew nuts in one sitting, which is quite hard going. I can just have I think each sachet is 180 calories, so 5 of them is 1,000 obviously, and so 10 of those makes, no, 5 of those is not 1,000. What am I talking about? I've lost basic mental arithmetic somewhere in the night. No, 5 of them is about 2,000. It's about 1,000 calories. 180 times 5 is about 1,000. Yes, that's right. 10 of those would be 1,800. Yes, I can do base 10. That's easy. Stick to 10s. Anyway, point is, 10 sachets of those is all the calories I would need to function for an entire day. But I don't want to rely on those entirely. So, but I've got quite a lot of them. I think I've got about 30 odd of the little packets there. I did maths, when my brain was working earlier in the last week, and I think I've got about 4,000 calories worth of nuts in the top of the bag, as I normally do, but they're not in enormous sacks that I can't close and have to finish in one go now. That's the key. That's the key improvement. Yeah. Anyway, I need to, steel myself and get up and get on with it. It's, what is it now? Just 2 minutes to 8. So yeah, I've been talking at you quite a while, haven't I? But yes, I'm going to basically do the big old loop round there. That's about 2-3 miles, something like that, 3 miles or so. And then end up back in Tollesbury, which is actually behind me. And then I'm just going to take a detour off the path and go inland, find a pub and have a bit of a breakfast of some sort, croissant or something. I'm not really in the mood for a big fry up, but I could do with some orange juice or something. They've got a village shop and it's Monday, so it'll be open, so that's good. I'll be able to use that to top up various things. I could probably, see what the toilet block's like, because apparently there is one, which I'm going to use enormously. But if they've got a tap, I might be able to top my bottles up, otherwise I'm just going to have to buy a load of Evian or something from the village shop and use that to fill up with, which is a bit inefficient plastic wise, but there you go. I didn't make the world, I just try and live in it. So yeah, let's go. It's shaping up to be a beautiful day. 900. 5 times 180 is 900. See, I can do it. It's taken me the last half a mile, but it's good. So this is Bradwell Power Station. Yeah, let's say not much more to say about it. That sort of dark thing next to it in the water is actually, I think, possibly its cooling intake, something like that. The pipes run out to there. I mean, the whole thing's mothballed now. It's essentially just an inert building with a big aluminium enclosure, probably all sorts of shielding inside. Decommissioned a long time ago. I forget the exact. I looked all this up in a previous episode when we actually walked past it, but yeah, just sat there waiting to cool now, really, which will take about 90 odd years, I think. Now I'm wondering if I can actually see Clacton from here. It's possible. Pretty sure that's all Breitling Sea on the far side there. Hang on, let me come back in zoom mode. Right, let's go for some extreme close-ups. That's 20 times zoom. Again, I've only got faith that it's actually pointing at what I think it's pointing at, because sometimes it points somewhere different. It's a bit weird. Yeah, I can't really make out any specific detail. That's all Mersey. All of that. West Mersey. I'll be looking at that tomorrow. But yeah, I think that must be the far side by Brightlingsea, and then around the corner to Wick, and then somewhere along there's Clacton Pier, but I'm not sure if I can pick it out. It might be it right on the end. I don't know, journey's end anyway. That's sort of, I'm not very steady, that's why I go with non-zoom mode normally. That might be the pier right on the very end there. I can't hold it steady. Yeah, beautiful day. Gonna have to get the suntan stuff out soon and start lobstering. Still, I mean, it's not been a good trip if I haven't lobstered a bit. Get that rugged outdoors thing going on. So this cuts off around to the right, then around the end over there, then comes all the way back, and then essentially comes back into where all those masts are. And that's Tollesbury there. So a big old loop, and then back to there, and then beyond. Yeah, I've got an additional 6 hours of hiking available today, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to sit down lots, have a long lunch. By the time I get to Tollesbury, I mean, it's only just gone 8 now, and by the time I get to Tollesbury, it's going to be at 9:30 maybe. Probably, definitely not 10 o'clock. Be there before 10, I expect, even though I do have to go all the way around. So it's going to be a leisurely breakfast, I think. Shops will be open, maybe a cafe or two, I don't know, the pubs. Oh, we'll see what we see. When I say a leisurely lunch, I don't mean a sit-down gourmet restaurant meal. I mean a park bench with a bag of Co-op goodies from the chiller cabinet, probably. That's how I roll. And I sometimes dream of a proper holiday, you know, somewhere on the Mediterranean or some of the Caribbean, perhaps. 7 nights of being waited on extensively with gourmet, scallops, frankly, a lot of scallops, I imagine. And I would probably have to dress for dinner. 2 different types of wine on the table in the evenings, you know. I mean, proper 5, 8, 9 star stuff, you know. Ugh. But then what do? How do you fill the days? I mean, I filled from 2 o'clock through to about 8 o'clock yesterday by just walking constantly, so I'd end up doing the same thing, just on a Caribbean volcano instead, so who knows. No, this is the life for me. I love it. Anyway, my second choice holiday, when I'm not doing this, is essentially spending an entire week at in my house, in my flat, playing computer games all day, so, you know, video games. That's just who I am. I would say I lack ambition, but, you know, here I am. I lack ambition in most regards. What's that, a light ship? Marker buoy thing? Oh, I'm still in zoom mode, let's have a look. Yeah, that's a light ship. There's nothing not doing much good there, is it? But it's used to like anchor near rocks out in the sea. Long periods of time, be a mobile lighthouse fundamentally. I expect we'll walk past it soon. Something to look forward to. Quite big. I suppose it's meant to sit out in the middle of the Atlantic for weeks at a time. Hard to tell what's abandoned and what isn't along here. I mean, there's quite a lot of obviously rotting hulks, but quite a lot of shabby boats that might still be lived in. Coming up on Tollesbury soon. Looking forward to another sit down, I think. What are we looking at? 12 minutes past 9, yeah. Time for another break, I think. Try and get at least 10 minutes every hour. I think I can certainly spare that much today. Tollesbury Wick, which I've completely circumnavigated, more or less. Alright, see what's next. So this is Tollesbury, which is a lot more than just a Morrison's opposite a churchyard with a bench and a bin. But I'm most keenly interested in those things. 5 past 10 actually. I've got a bus stop and everything. I don't need the bus yet, everything's going well, I don't need to escape yet. So yeah, got hairdressers and an art gallery. It's lovely. The lights on screens, it's probably quite nice at night. Probably dim view of camping here, but you know. Right, so I'm just going to have a very early lunch because this is the only shop I'm going to see today, I think. Get to Copt later and there's nothing there at all, not even a pub, definitely not a shop. So I'm just going to basically plunge straight on through and into the wilds and camp. So So this is my stop. I got a bag of stuff, most of which I'm just going to cram now. Already visited the public convenience down the road a bit, which is also very welcome. So yeah, lunch break. Here we go. See the light ship in the distance there. So we're 11:15 and back on the trail. Take a detour in that way. Technically skipping a small piece of the England coast path off, which is shocking. I have to go back to Minehead and start again now. Now I just took a wedge off the other side of that sewage works and went up to it, get me supplies. It's all good. Tiny bench. Saltmarsh Coast Trail, England Coast Path. Yeah, all good. Tollesbury, 3.5 miles. Now that doesn't seem right to me, because I mean, yeah, that's the end of today, basically. We'll do that in 2 hours comfortably. No, I think that doesn't go around the big loop of Old Deal Marshes or whatever. It's a really long loop out and then back again, which I think probably the England Coast Path takes, but this Saltmarsh Coast Trail probably cuts straight to Saltcote. So that's okay. No, I think we've got more to do than 3.5. But now there's nothing. I mean, well, Saltcote obviously, but Saltcote has nothing. It's just houses. There's no shops or pubs or anything. So that was it for supplies for the day. I've topped up the water, which has unfortunately made everything heavy again. 3 bottles, each of which when full weighs 1 kilogram more than when empty. Yeah, got a bag of Haribo stuffed in a pocket in there somewhere as well, just to break the monotony of peanuts. But yeah, we're all good to go now. I've basically all my little Sims like need bars are all empty now, so we're all good. I don't need anything at all for the rest of the day, which is just as well. I think the next shops is probably over there. It's the west end of Mersey Island. There's a few pubs, I think, but mostly not much going on until late tomorrow now, so I have to activate self-sufficiency mode. So yeah, let's crack on, let's get some miles done, see where we end up next. What a little cottage. Something of the Tolkien about it all. Mind you, we're a long way from Tolkien's stamping grounds. That was all based on Oxfordshire. Right, so we can go that way. And I think that lops a massive loop off of Old Hall Marshes. Or we can go the way the Acorn says, which includes a massive loop around the Old Hall Marches. Oh, that's fine. That's it's only 11:15. I mean, if I fetch up at Saltcote within the next hour or two, then I'm going to have to sit around for like 8 hours until it gets dark. So. All right, on we go. Oh, bit exposed out here. Wind's picked up. Keeps making my hat flop up. Very irritating. Keep bending it back down, but it still seems to lift it back up. It's like it wants me to get a sunburnt ear. Very insistent. So it's still not quite level with Bradwell. See the side of it still. So we'll probably see it end on somewhere along here. So I got a feeling this wall goes all right up to where those houses are, and there's just a single, not that wide, deep channel in between us and the houses. It's all West Mersey. Lots of pubs, cafes, shops, etc. All frustratingly out of reach. I have to spend about a day, yeah, most of today, most of tomorrow morning getting to there. So, so yes, like managed wilderness farmland stuff. Very, I'm going to sit down for a bit. Because there's been one bench since like the mainland over there, and it's been occupied. Which is typical. Next time that happens, I'm just going to stand behind them with my arms folded, glaring until I get really uncomfortable. But this plank will do. Kind of a style. You see how over flooded all this is. Keep seeing like farm gates, like half underwater out there in the little channels. There's one there, look. obviously not meant to be this deep. The thing is, these are great sea defences, keep the sea out, but they also keep the water in, I suppose. They're not one-way permeable. So if this lot floods through with excessive rainfall, then yeah, it's just going to sit there in a big lake. Seeing various Essex Wildlife Trust no entry signs on gates and things. That's fine, I'm not out to trespass. Sticking to the path, which goes all the way around the end and quite far out. So yeah, that's good. It's good. It's going to be the bulk of the day, to be honest. I'm not sure I can even see Copt. Is that it in the middle there, perhaps? Yeah, maybe. Or it might be a bit further to the left. Not sure. Doesn't matter. I mean, I've got, like I say, quite a long time. 12:07. It's only just afternoon. Almost, well, at least half the way done for the day. I'll have to check, but yeah, doing well. But yeah, the place I got picked out for tonight probably doesn't encourage sitting around in the middle of it in a field for ages. It's a little bit inland, a little bit on the edge of a farmer's field. Well, there actually is a proper public footpath through it, but I'm not sure those typically imply camping rights. Hey ho. Oh, I can see people on the horizon. Which way are they going? Left or right? Oh well. Problem for later on. Quite a way off. A mile or two. Right. Yeah, time for another 10-minute rest, I think. Just try and spend my health wisely. All right. I mean, shoulders are aching a bit, but that's because I just don't carry this thing around with me very much normally. So yeah. Stay out here and enjoy the breeze. I found some information. I'm stopping again. I've decided, because I've got like 6 miles to go and it's only 1 o'clock, I need to kill some time before I do the necessary in the target location. So I think I've decided that if I do like a 10-minute rest every half mile, that will burn about 2 hours worth probably, which is good. That'll still leave me with an additional 2 hours, I think, once I get somewhere near where I want to be, which will give me time to do the scouting about and things before sunset. So that's all good. So yeah, it's a very leisurely pace I've decided today. Found a sign. RSPB Old Hall Marshes. Lots of stuff about plovers and things, but I'm more interested in this side here. On completion, caveat, the England Coast Path at more than 2,700 miles, oh there you go, will be the longest managed and waymarked coastal path in the world. Yeah, I was about to say Appalachian Trail is much longer than that, I'm sure, but it's not coastal, yeah. The Essex section is mainly fairly easy going along seawards and promenades at around 300 miles. Is one of the longest sections in the country, stretching from Tilbury, with access via ferry to Gravesend, Kent, in the south, to the Suffolk border near Manningtree. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Tilbury, do you remember Tilbury? That was a while ago. And then bloody Isle of Sheppey. I checked, the ECP has no intention of going on there at all, so I didn't miss anything there. That's good. Yes, here we go. Canvey Island, Southend. All of this nonsense. Burnham-on-Crouch, Woodham Ferrers, Wallasey. All the way around Dengie to Malden. And then that's where we're doing today. Up here, this sticky outy pointy one there. That's where I am right now. And then yeah, up there to this is a lie. Well, I mean, unless the signage is, I guess I'll see when I get somewhere nearby, but I suspect there's nothing there. Anyway, yeah, Mersey Island, and then up to Colchester, back down to Clacton. After that, September, I have to go up to Harwich. Is it Harwich or Harwich? I never remember which. And then on to Manningtree, and that's the end of Essex. But then I need to carry on back to Shotley Gate and up and so on. But that'll be all Suffolk, which will be a different county. But yes. So apparently, because of these ridiculous rivers, the Essex Coast Path, part of the ECP, the Essex part, is the longest. So yes, I could certainly, it certainly feels like it. So there we go. And we're coming up on, running alongside Mersey, and then it'll be back round and all the way up to there somewhere. So yeah, about 5.5 miles to go today still, I think. It's 1 o'clock. And I mean, it's quite scraggy along here. This is surprisingly narrow, well trimmed a bit, but I've been going through sort of ankle high stuff that's probably adder country. I don't know. I haven't seen any. I'm not out worried. I'm big, slow, loud. Adders, get out of the way. It's fine. Like I say, I've 1,200 miles or so that I've done so far. I've seen 2 snakes, and both of them got the hell out of the way since I saw them. So not too worried. No, I have nightmares about ticks instead now, but then again I am fully trousered and completely socked, so ticks got a job to do to get to my crevices. So yeah, I'm making a really deliberately slapdash slow approach today because I've just got so much time to kill on this staging. I know, previous weeks in the past I've decided to start compressing days, but I just, the wild camping is a problem, I think. I've picked some very specific spots, I think, that look all right, and if I start compressing things, it all goes a bit confusing. I end up in the centre of Colchester at night, that sort of thing, which is fine. I just get a travel lodge or whatever. But the point is not to have to need to use hotels and B&Bs, really. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to have another sit down, dawdle some more. There we go. Look, we're the other side of the power station now, Bradwell. Which means, I suppose that's, was it Athona and the chapel, that St Peter's Chapel thing we saw. And that's the North Sea. So finally, after about 6 months of on and off visits to this part of the world, I'm back on the North Sea again, sort of. And then I'm about to go inland for a whole day. Not come back to the sea again till probably this time tomorrow, I'd imagine. I'll be over there. But we'll see. And then Clacton awaits. Still can't pick it out, but it's over there somewhere. Right, keep pointing it in the sky. I'm a terrible cameraman. Still, the clouds are quite nice today. High speed, high altitude, fluffy ones. Not a drop of rain to happen today. It's nice, little fluffy clouds. Okay, right, I'm going to sit and dawdle some. Just look at the little sailboat. It's a very dawdly day today. I mean, tomorrow I think I set myself 16 miles to do, and 16 the day after that, so things should get a bit more determined after that, but then I think it comes back down again to like 13s and 12s. So we'll see. I know. I mean, I'm just so uncertain about my match readiness, my ability to do this, my physical fitness and so on at the moment, because it's been so long since I've done a proper one of these and succeeded, that I really wanted to play this one safe. So that's why I'm now finding myself stood in the middle of a fen in Essex with 4 hours to kill. But we'll just find a nice bit of grass and have a snooze. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to sort of try and just have lots of bag off, sit down on the grass and enjoy the scenery moments. I think really, if I can. How about that? Can you still hear it at all? No? I don't know. I might as well just stop filming here and think about what I just did. As you can see, not many people have been through here this year. I'm sure this is the path. Doing my bit to trample it down, I suppose, but it's slightly harder going than I'm used to. Yeah, coming up on another half a mile, 10-minute break. Not much to report, but I have done some maths in the time since I spoke to you last. So the England Coast Path is, according to their own measurements, 2,700 miles long. And according to my measurements, I've done about 1,200 miles already. Well, I mean, not only does that mean I'm coming up on halfway at some point in Norfolk, but if I do 2 80-mile trips a year like this one I'm proposing and trying to accomplish right now, I think I could be done with it in 10 years. 20 trips basically remaining, by the sounds of things. So yeah, I just need to at which point I'll be 59, hopefully still capable of walking 12 miles in a day, or 16 in a day, or whatever, with a big heavy bag, although I may find myself doing B&Bs more and more, or van life or something, but I don't know. Yeah, really sort of really doing something, you know, really achieving a thing. Not a thing of any specific use to the world as a whole, but doing something. But yeah, so yeah, I reckon a decade more of this and I'll be done. I mean, it doesn't count Hadrian's Way or Offers Dyke Path either. Hadrian's Way is easy, that's 80 miles, it's quite short actually in the grand scheme of things. You can do that in a separate week, I think, but Offers Dyke Park's got to be about 600 miles long or something like that, so I'll have to when I reach Liverpool decide whether I want to skip to the end and then come back for it, or not bother. I'll just go for it and carry on round. Because oddly the borders between Scotland and Wales are not part of the England coast path, because they're not on the coast, I suppose. So yeah. Oh, this looks like some clean steps I can sit on for 10 minutes. I think I will. It looks like a affluent sort of place. West Mersey, it's the biggest conurbation on Mersey Island. It's a bit more sparse the far side, so it's a major town as far as I'm concerned. Village, shops, etc. May even be some promenading. It's been a while since I've promenaded. Probably Promenade Park back in Malden before this week. Yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, probably about this time tomorrow I'll be there. That's a bit earlier, who knows? Lots of inland detouring and things to do before then. Right, we're getting away from the sea now, back inland. Damn you! Keeps tantalising me. There you go. Well, I found a piece of wood to sit on. Don't know. So my reckoning, I've got 3.1 miles to go. Been measuring with the Google tool and thing. To where I intend to drop bags, set up home, and it's 14:44. I mean, this time yesterday I just left the bus 20 minutes ago and I just started out and was about to do 12 miles. So, so I've got 6 hours to do 3 miles. That's like half a mile an hour. I'd have to, crawl or something. So I don't know what to do. I've got this real time management problem going on. I don't know whether I ought to look for a park bench to have a snooze on, murder some time that way, or get to where I was going and then just keep going until it's sunset, which basically involves heading out that way onto a B road and then following the road for quite a long way and just seeing what I find when the sun goes down, which, has worked before, but is a bit fraught. Maybe some light side tracks or turnings off that main road. It's not really something I've scoped out particularly much, to be honest. And I really don't want to pull another 22 miler or anything like that. That's what ends trips. That's what does me in. So I find a compulsion to just keep going because I've got time on my hands. It's easier to just keep walking than stop. So yeah, I don't know. Trying to dawdle, but I'm obviously making better time than I thought, even with the dawdling. So I don't know. If I could find some sort of, quiet village green with a bench on it, I could snooze there for a little bit, but I don't know. Well, 3 miles to go today anyway, and possibly a lot more afterwards. I don't know yet. So I'll continue to sit here and have my 10 minutes, string a few 10 minutes together maybe. Quite pleasant, nice nature reserve there. A lot of insects about. This plant's covered in them. All those black things are flies. Desperately hanging on for dear life. Still quite breezy. It's not cold with it though. I can sit here for a while, not going to get exposure. See the occasional bird of prey zooming about. I've seen bird boxes further into the area. Owls maybe, I don't know. Oh, I keep pointing into the sky. I haven't seen anybody on this path since we entered Deal Hall Marshes, apart from one couple who are sat on the only bench I've seen on this area. That was way back on the other side, so they're probably long gone back the way they came, I expect. I would be glad to be off this bit, to be honest. It's nice and all, but I've seen quite a few like this already. It reminds me of Wallasey Island a lot. The path is very... I don't know, this is particularly Kempt, this bit, but there's not a lot of traffic through here, so it's all like, you know, knee-high cowslips and things, which is quite hard going, slowing me down, which is not a bad thing considering I'm trying to lose time. Yeah, I don't know, in spite of that I'm still still moving on at a fair old pace. I don't know, I'll have to just get there when I get there, frankly. I mean, I think I've learned it's just no good forcing a pace, either slow or fast. I got a pace, you know, that's the speed I go at. So we'll get to Copt, find nothing as predicted, I imagine. There won't be, I mean, yeah, one day the England coast path will just follow along the far side of this river and all the way up to there, to the island over there. But at present I don't think it does. I think there's occasional bird hides here and there along that side. A few paths that sort of go from the main road to the edge and then back again and don't go sideways, such is the problem. I don't really want to go in and out with every side road along there. I might as well just follow the main road up to the connection across to Mersey Island instead. Just write that whole mini section off because it's just not ready yet, you know. Keep with the spirit of the adventure, you know, follow the nearest road route. But yeah, I don't know how far along that road route I can get tonight, this afternoon, still find something useful to throw a tent into. Particularly I don't want to be walking along a country lane or B road after dark, because I don't really have much reflecty stuff with me this trip. I don't really anticipating being out and walking after dark, let alone on a road. So I don't know, just shuffle that way and see what we find. He just turned round. I was about to say, I didn't think there was anything upstream from here. It all just comes to a halt in Copt. I haven't seen any boats on this particular stretch at all. Obviously not, just sailing for pleasure. Yeah, so thinking about it, I'm probably going to rock up 4 hours too early for doing the necessary. So I thought I'd just carry on then. Just keep going, wait till it gets dark, try and find something then. Which means that I'm probably going to start compressing days after all. We'll see. I mean, if there was like a pub or something in Copt, I could spend 3 hours sat there just, you know, chilling out, but there's nothing. They got a church and a village hall, both of which are probably closed. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Is it? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Monday, isn't it? Oh my god. Hang on. It's a Monday afternoon. Okay, well, either way, not much going on in there. So, yeah, I think I might just carry on across the other side and start seeing how far towards Mersey I can get. What am I doing? I'm looking at the notifications stuff. Am I still recording? Oh, here we are. Yeah. Yeah, to see how far towards Mersey I can get then. It'll take time off the next day and the next and the next thing, you know. I've got a Thursday finish instead of a Friday. I don't know. Throws all my planning out the window, all the little spots I'd picked. I don't know. Maybe I should be more spontaneous for this kind of thing. Let's see. I'm going to proceed to the place, and if it's like there's more than 2 hours before sunset, then I'm not just going to sit at the place looking nonchalant waiting, because it is on a footpath. I'm going to get passers-by at some point or another towards the evening, local dog walkers and the like. That'd do. Way too early though. On we go. So my taking 10-minute stops every half hour thing's gone out the window a bit as well. I just hope I don't break myself. It seems to be alright so far. No warning signs so far. I mean, my big plan was always if anything went really badly wrong, I can bail at Colchester on day 4, train station and home from there. But I'd like to finish all 6 down to Clacton. And if stuff goes really, really wrong, there's not too many bus It's not too far from any bus stops, and I can, if things get really, really, really wrong, I can just phone for a taxi or something. So they're not going to find my bones out here, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like I had exactly the opposite problem from last time, in that I've totally overestimated, or totally underestimated my capability instead of massively overestimating like last time. Oh well, let's see where we end up. That's basically Copt there, those buildings. That's about half a mile north across the farmers' fields over there. Is the necessary, it's the spot. But I mean, bloody hell, I can probably see it from here. So, yeah. 22 minutes past 3. There's be another half hour or so from here to the spot. That's way too early to be putting a tent up in the middle of a field. Prying eyes, etc. So I might just see what I can see. I mean, it would be perfect if the flipping coast path continued on along that shore. Because there's loads of places along there that would be perfect. And I could pick and choose. But no. I suspect, I'm not sure, I've been working off Google Street View, it might have changed since that photo was taken, but I suspect path doesn't actually happen on the other side. I have to get on the inland road some way back to practically the causeway onto Mersey Island. Now we'll see. I'm going to just keep stomping on and see what the situation is when we get to Copt, land of nothing at all. The only reason I know the only reason it's famous at all in my mind is that this is where the completed Southwest Coast Path section ends, and the next one doesn't start. That's all I know about it. Right, onward. Yeah, bit sad really. So there's Copt's 0.3 there over there. That's it basically. But I have to go off around the edge of this thing and back because why not? But yeah, for this path, these cheery signs have been keeping me company since Burnham on Crouch, 64 miles away. Salt Marsh Coast Trail. Must predate the England Coast Path. But yeah, soon comes to an end. Anyway, let's go and do this loop. And then we'll see what delights the old village of Copt has to offer. I'll give you a spoiler, none whatsoever. No, I'm being unnecessarily resentful, it's fine. Okay, let's get this last bit done. I'm out of the marshes at least. Just on the way out through the stile there, I saw a sign on the back warning you about ticks. Yep, great. I think I'm probably okay, but I probably ought to have some sort of inspection tonight. Yeah, okay, let's do this last little loop. Follow the seawall still, and then get into the village. See what's what. Not hopeful, frankly. Okay. Stay the hell back. Zoom, zoom, zoom. What do we reckon? Adder? Not an adder. I almost put my heel on it. There we go. Snake time. I think that might be an adder. It looks like a black zigzag. The head's facing upwards, it's pointing the other way. Yeah, I nearly trod on that. Just sort of moved faintly. Certainly didn't get out of my way quickly enough. I've been thumping along here like crazy. Oh, I lost it now. There it is. Yeah, they blend in fairly well, don't they? I'm not going to poke it with a stick or get any closer because I don't want to tempt fate, but yeah, there we go. And I nearly landed my heel on it. I just sort of hoofed it over. It must be cold, I suppose, because of the wind. Very responsive. Jesus. Right, good. Okay, so that's 3 adders, 3 snakes seen in 1,200 miles. One of which didn't get out of the way in time. Right, good. Quite looking forward to getting off this wall and onto a major road for a bit, you know. Well, that might explain why there's adders all along here. That's the other part of the sign sent me here, but no. Bugger off. I could jump it, I suppose, but no. I can't cross there either because of that. So I've got to go back through the adder infested bit. Who knows how far? Probably back to that sign. I should have taken that 0.3 mile cut. My adherence to the little yellow acorns has nearly got me killed. May yet do so. Oh well, I was looking to burn time, so you know that's good. Now I have to go very slowly and carefully back along the way I came. See if I can find out where I went wrong. We cut back across that field to the footpath from the sign on the hill, I suppose. Bloody hell. I hate you, Soul Copt. Okay, I'm back here again. Back by the big signboard. Largely by adrenaline. So I've made it out of the minefield. And now I look at this post, perhaps I think maybe that didn't mean go up there. That might mean go that way instead. Because the one there says go that way. Confusing, but then now I look down here with a bit more care and attention, that one definitely says go that way. I mean, if I had tools, I'd have come up here and just started prying those off, because they did rather seem to lead to an active death trap, a minefield along that section. I'll put some fencing across there, perhaps. Anyway, that over there ends in barbed wire and lock gate, so I guess I go down here. Right, yeah, I wish I'd seen that about half an hour ago. Still, there we go. Live and learn. And I got some great natural wildlife photography out of it all, so that's good too. And, you know, nearly died. I don't know, I mean, it looked quite small. I doubt it had enough poison to kill me outright, but it would have been excruciatingly painful, I'm sure. Certainly trip ending. I mean, me with my backpack on, I think I'd probably come in at about 120 kilograms, somewhere around there. And all of that applied downward through the boot heel onto its head probably meant it wouldn't have survived. I'd have probably killed it if I'd have stepped on it, assuming it didn't manage to get fangs upright as I came down. And even then, I'm not even sure the fangs would penetrate my boot heel. So maybe it was in a lot more danger than I was. Crisis averted though. Sort of faint movement, and then I don't know, a genetic memory of horrific prehistoric monsters or something flashed, and I did a weird hop, skip, double jump and skidded over it. So yeah, I think I saw it move. Didn't look like it was moving very fast though. I think it was clearly trying to bask, but with these winds keeping the wind chill on, cold-blooded reptile, maybe it didn't have enough energy to get out of the way. That's the most dangerous time you meet an adder, apparently, according to the bump I've read. And then if I'd have killed it, I'd have been breaking the law, because it's against the law to harm adders. Ironically. I mean, because they're just so rare. So, in a way, I'm blessed and lucky. Okay, anyway, after that shenanigans and fiasco, what are we looking at? 4 o'clock, coming into Soul Copt, about another half a mile to the spot, which I'm likely to get done in 20 minutes. It's giving me 3.5 hours of daylight to kill, probably. So I probably will just keep going now. Besides, after that close encounter, the idea of just trudging along the hard shoulder of a tarmacked road seems quite appealing. And I'll have to just see what I can find in terms of the necessary. I'm going to find something in the next 2 or 3 hours. I do need to sit and rest a little bit though. I don't really want to pull a 22 miler. I've done 12 miles now, obviously. This was the end of that stage, so I'm probably good for at least another 3 or 4, maybe 5, and not push things too hard. I don't think I want to be just walking continuously until sunset, because that will push me into the 20s. I don't know, 3.5 hours, 2 miles an hour. Yeah, I could get another 5 miles maybe, I think. That'll still give me time to find something. So we'll see what happens. Let's go and look at Soul Copt, which I've already gone right off. Yeah, fair enough. My bad. Should really pay more attention to the signage. When there is some, I think the signage stops halfway up this road. So, oh well, see what we do. A Jubilee, Silver Jubilee bench of the dead, as it turns out. Renovated for Platinum Jubilee. Yeah, still needs another go with the varnish. Right, so let's see. Yeah, 4:10. I can sit on this bench for 3 hours, snooze, whatever, or head down, trudge on, keep going, and abandon tonight's plans and improvise something further down the road. I need a 10-minute rest and a drink of water. Let my resting heart rate go back down to pre-Orphidian levels. But this is it. This church is the only thing that isn't a house, I think, in this village. So yeah, at least I've got a bench I can sit on, something. Oh, there it is, the last one. Only one acorn on there. From here I'm on my own. So I think it's up there and then around the corner through a farm, and then there's a big long track across the field. No, that's nothing to do with the coast path. Right, let's crack on with it. I've come up with a plan that sort of puts me somewhere I think might work, but it's 6 miles away. So it's going to be push a bit, but mostly along a road as it gets dark, so that's going to be fun too. Hopefully not too busy a road. Let's get to where I was going to get first anyway. Coming up on 4:30. Got 3.5 hours of daylight left. Could do 6 miles in that, I think, but it's going to be tight at the far end. I'm going to have to pretty much find a spot and drop. We'll see. So that is a footpath. I have not been breaking any rules. And this is Verley Barrow Henge, some sort of Iron Age mound, which I thought might provide a bit of flat, empty grass that no one would mind about. Although having arrived here on scene, it does seem very exposed from a number of directions. Quite a lot of sight lines, and I'm wearing a bright white shirt. Well, you know, khaki. So I just don't think I could get away with sitting around loafing here for 3.5 hours and then doing the necessary. I wasn't planning on going on the top, that seems disrespectful, but around here. But then I just don't know what the local dog walkie situation is like. Bound to get barnstormed first thing in the morning. And anyway, I've got 3.5 hours still in hand, so why not crack on anyway. So we're going down to that road there, you can see the car glimmering past. And then we're turning right, and we're just going to follow the road to Mersey, basically. I think it's about 6 miles or so to the causeway of the Strood. I think I can get done before dark, and then I've seen on the left the coast path resumes, or at least a coastal path resumes, and there's a large flat bit there that I think might work well, just out of sight of everything. So that's what I'm going to strike for. That's what we're going to have a crack at. But if it gets dark before then, I'll have to just look around, improvise, see if I can find something better, closer. Right, so carry on through here. It's a shame, it's a nice little spot. Just quite a lot of windows in view. So I can't really sit around in broad daylight for 3 hours waiting for it to get dark enough. I mean, I don't use a light with my camping, so I wouldn't be seen after dark, but it's just inviting hassle, I think. So, down there and onto a road. I mean, roads are boring, but, you know, you can make good time on them, so let's see what we can do. See how far we get. If I hit the spot I'm aiming for, that will be an 18-mile day, which is a lot more than I wanted to do, but I seem to be good for it at the moment. We'll see. Forget the microphone, I got the phone charger plugged in instead. Stupid USB microphone. Oh, hello. Anyway, so yeah, that road turned out to be a lot busier and less pavementy than I was hoping. Quite dangerous actually. I stumbled into traffic at least once because I'm a little bit footsore. So yeah, I found a side path. This is a footpath here. A footpath. I thought I'd use it as a way to just decoy. So it goes up, turns right, and then heads back that way and rejoins the main road some further way up. I thought that might be a useful way to just not be walking on the road for a bit, even if it is a little bit extra mileage. But now I found this, which is an immaculately manicured grass verge along. This is a footpath. With no, I noticed just in passing, no sight lines on any house windows anywhere nearby, although through that hedge is a farmhouse on a hilltop and some barns and stuff, but I'm just thinking, yeah, lovely oak tree here. Probably won't do anything directly under it because of dead falls, but basically that oak tree means anyone with a tractor or whatever would have to drive around it anyway, so why not, yeah. But the trouble is though, I've still got 2.5 hours till dark, so I suppose I will have to just sit here and chill. not breaking any rules sitting here on a footpath, and if anyone comes past and gives me questioning looks by dark, then I suppose I can do this. This is not that, it's a little bit further on. This is essentially about a mile or two onward into tomorrow, finger quotes, from where I was going with that stupid idea of the hilltop barrow. Yeah, so I'm not pushed on that much further, but I've made a little bit of a small dent into tomorrow, and if I pack up early and get on with it, the road will be quieter, I think, tomorrow morning early, like 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and I can crack on and get to Mercy and stick to the plan, basically. So that's where I'm at the moment. I don't know, it could all change, you know what I'm like. Anyway, whatever happens, I'm going to sit here for a bit, eat some nuts and drink some water and just chill for a bit. Yeah, well, I might be staying here longer than that. Yeah, rumbled. Guy on a quad bike come past. Asked me if I was alright. Yes, fine, thank you. Just taking a moment, then heading on. Yeah. There's nothing accusatory there, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming back to check this spot after dark now. Right, so what did that cost me then in terms of sitting around waiting for the sun to go down? I've got 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2.5 hours, I think, for sunset. So, I mean, this was the path I was going to take anyway. I was going up here and then left and across and back to join the road some miles down there. So I'll do that and then see what else turns up. I mean, I found this place easy enough. Sure, there'll be something else. So this is Copt Hall. I've done a very long detour to the south, back towards the river in fact. Although there is no left or right southwest South England coast path availability. However, there is a lot of paths around a bit of marsh. That's sort of worked for me before. Oh no, car park locked. That's just cars though. These are all footpaths around here, so I think I might be in luck. This is very, very not going to be disturbed kind of vibe from this place. Copt Hall. Keep dogs on leads, okay. Leaving litter, lighting fires, damaging trees or plants. Well, I intend to do none of those things. Okay, so the path carries on that way and then goes off into the fens basically again. We've sort of done a massive loop around Salcott, then north, and then back to, leading back down to the marshes again, to the river. So it's a bit of an isolated laguna that doesn't actually go anywhere, but might do for what I need for the night. We'll see. This is nice. And of course not going to be many dog walkers along here because the car park's closed. It doesn't open until 8 AM I don't think. So yeah, see what we find down here. I think I've come too far off the main route I was taking for me to go back now. There's an hour before sunset. Yeah, so let's do or die down here really for the time being. Plus my left foot's starting to ache on the ball. I've got going to be a blister there, I think. Overdone the mileage a little, perhaps. That's okay. So yeah, just need to find something surreptitious down here. Hopefully be away before anyone else turns up in the morning. If not, well, sorry. My bad. Yeah, but this down the end of here should have been part of the actual coast path route, the ECP route, but for whatever reasons there is no section here. Still working out the planning details, I guess. So, I mean, I wasn't even going to touch this little fragment of coast path along here, but turns out I am now. Let's see what we can find. Yeah, I think I've gone too far now to come back anywhere else. Won't get to anywhere else useful, I don't think, today. Right. Yeah. Pleasant evening stroll and everything, but it suddenly occurred to me that the only way out of here in the morning is through that closed gate, which might be open and attended by volunteers. This might make the explanations a bit tricky. No other way into this place. Anyhow, I'm going to try the other side of the gate and a bit further back up that road and see if I can find something that way. It's only one way to keep myself occupied until sunset. Fretting. Well, I think it's going to have to be here, which is not great. It's a bit slopey, very muddy. There's not too many thistles or brambles or anything there. No dangerous overhanging wood. And some nice concrete blocks there to keep cars on the road and off of me. So yeah, I'll have to find a suitable angle and set up on there. Should keep the mud out, so it's not wet either, and it's not going to rain overnight, so it shouldn't turn into some sort of quagmire, which is good. This road here, well, the gate up there doesn't open until 8 AM, so probably not going to be a lot of traffic to and through here until I'm gone. Until after I'm gone, but maybe well, that's why I didn't want to be in there when, packed up and came striding out in case some early bird National Trust volunteer turns up at 6 AM to get it all set up. So at least there's none of that here. I mean someone's lay-by, but someone's gateway entrance. But those concrete blocks suggest that they're not bringing tractors through here anytime soon. So it's probably okay. And they'll be gone early anyway. So yeah, let's try it. Be nice if it were a bit more grassy, but can't have everything. Right, well, I'm going to sign off now because I've got a lot of stuff to do. And speak to you again tomorrow. There goes the plot. Super rumbled. I think they were patrolling, or maybe I was seen and reported, I don't know. Drove past, he asked what I was doing, I explained, he said alright. So, I don't know. Take that as implied consent, but I will be gone in the morning. Not blocking anyone's path, not actually aggravated trespassing or anything, I don't think. So, they obviously have better time to do with them. Better things to do with the time. Not sure what the woman in the silver car's doing there. Let's all go here. Well, I just can't do more than that. I've been seen and talked to by the police and they seem fine. So, right. Shall not take the piss further in future nights. Keep it clandestine still, but yeah, there you go. I don't know what to make of all that, really. Speak to you again tomorrow.